today I want to talk about the silver and the gold as a form of financial preparation for both the short term and the long term. Let's talk about the financial prepping. Sitting here in front of me, I have a little bit of silver, a little bit of gold, and a little bit of fiat. A little bit of dollar bills, a little bit of currency over here underneath my money. The reason I have these three things sitting in front of me are for three completely different reasons. The cash right there, that's for short-term spending, emergency fund, if that's what you want to refer to it as. Every month I add just a little bit of cash to the stack. I stack a little bit of currency alongside my money, but cash for the short term, that's something that I believe everyone should have stacked up, at least a little bit. Some people will say a 2 or 3 month emergency fund. Some people will say 6 months. Some people have an absurd amount of currency sitting around, whether it be in their safe or whether it be in the bank, whatever the case may be. I don't really believe in holding onto too much currency for the long term because all it really does is depreciate in value, and that's not really something that I'm all that excited about. So rather than letting it lose purchasing power, I let it sit there just because if and when something happens, I don't want to be the guy that has to liquidate my silver and my gold to get the cash that I need to spend on whatever it is that I need to spend it on. I'd rather remove that from the equation altogether and just grab my cash and go if that's what I need to do. If I need to spend, if I need to buy something or fix something or whatever I have to take care of, I don't have to liquidate anything. I already have the currency. So the cash, that's just for the short term. Now, as for the silver and the gold, as I always say, I'm stacking both metals for two completely different reasons, but at the end of the day, they both constitute as wealth preservation for the long term and act as a hedge against inflation. So for a short-term issue, an unexpected emergency, that's where the cash comes into play, but for long-term situations such as inflation and the dollar bill losing purchasing power, that's where I believe the silver and gold come in. Now, I don't necessarily want to say that it's a solution to the problem, but I do think that it's a way of combating the problem. And if you watched the video that I posted just yesterday, I said silver and gold, it's somewhat of an airbag. And a car accident can represent inflation, or I guess what inflation is eventually going to do to the dollar bill. Now, the silver and the gold, the airbag, it's not going to prevent the car crash, but it could absolutely minimize the severity of the damages and the injuries that you sustain. In addition to that, I sleep very well at night knowing that my silver and my gold, it's there for me if I absolutely needed it. Like I said, I have the cash so I don't have to liquidate the silver, but worst case scenario, if something extreme occurs, I wouldn't want to liquidate my silver, and I would do everything in my power not to, but if I absolutely needed to, if it was a must, unfortunately, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Things are out of our control sometimes. Sometimes pandemics happen, for example. Sometimes it's out of your hands, it's out of your control. There's nothing you can do about it. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. And if I have to liquidate, at least I know that I can. Because guess what? The average Joe out there who doesn't have any silver, doesn't have any gold, they have nothing to liquidate. The average person is not stacking money. The average person isn't even stacking currency. If they can't stack currency, what makes you think they can stack money? So like I said, different methods of financial preparation, more for the short term, more for the long term. And when it comes to the silver versus the gold, I'm stacking the two for different reasons as well. I'm stacking the silver because I've always seen it as the opportunity metal. I believe that it has more room to grow and perform over time than gold. Not to say that gold can't grow and perform, it absolutely can, but I think silver has more room for growth. And if and when the gold to silver ratio gap closes in a little bit, you can trade a little bit of silver for a little bit of gold. Preserve those high silver spot prices, reduce the weight, reduce the bulk, and preserve your wealth for the long term. That's why I'm stacking the silver and the gold. And that's why I'm stacking a little bit of cash alongside my silver and my gold. It all comes down to financial preparation. Better to have something and not need it than to need something and not have it. And if anybody's interested in joining the Precious Metals VIP Club, it's where I can do things on my terms, not on YouTube's terms, my terms. I'm hosting privately held live streams that has a smaller number of people watching. That way I can read more comments and respond to more viewers in real time. You can watch all of the YouTube videos commercial free. You can get access to giveaways, discounts, personalized promo codes, shout outs, deal alerts when silver and gold is on sale on a variety of different websites. It's all being placed in one spot. Come join the Precious Metals VIP Club. It'll be the first link in the description section down below. You're invited. I'd be happy to have you.